I tested the strength of 50 tribesmen. 5 rules I set for myself. 1. I can't scan for specific NPCs. Whatever enemy I run into, I must attempt to recruit them. 2. I can only equip missing gear for each tribesman, so if they're missing a ring, for example, I can give them one. 3. They can't have more than 5 bandages. 4. I can only attack with minimal effort. 5. I can't craft bow and arrows for my army, and they can only have one if they were equipped with one before recruitment. Let's get started. What I wanted to do first was set up a small base with a portal close to the barracks. The wetland portal to the barracks was roughly 600 meters, so I wanted to cut down on time traveling back and forth. I started building as close as I could and began to lay down some foundations, walls, and a roof. I personally have decay settings off, but wanted to make a bonfire anyways. I began to recruit tribesmen and reminded myself I can scan for specific tribesmen, as that is a rule I place for myself. I am recruiting whoever I encounter as long as I don't accidentally kill them. I was a much higher level, so sometimes I had to go fisticuffs on them. As I progressed to the barracks, I needed to take out the chief, who I knew would be in my way, as I began recruiting more tribesmen. Unfortunately, the tribesman that was with him could not take any more hits and suffered. Eventually, I took out the chief, which wasn't too difficult, and continued on gathering more NPCs. I went back to the entrance to check on my fodder and began to pick them up and deploy them with me. I have my settings for recruiting NPCs around level 8, as I knew this task would be time consuming and setting up multiple beds can get tedious. Some weren't ready, so I threw them back down on the dirt floor and continued on to gather more. I realized I reached my tribe limit, so any remaining NPCs on the floor I decided to kill off. I later realized that they can potentially still be left on the floor after leaving and returning back to the barracks. Anyways, I decided to return with the tribesmen I currently had with me and brought them back to the base. So that being said, my connection enhancement ability was maxed out, so I went to advanced settings to change the level 3 strong compatibility module as well as the recruitment limit. This would allow me to gather more tribesmen for this test. With me leaving the barracks, I knew the enemies would respawn, so I started the process again. Recruit anyone I encounter with and avoid killing them. Sometimes I take too much satisfaction in killing them off, as I remember struggling the first time I encountered this tribe at a lower level. I forgot about the guy with the flag as he decided to be sneaky and light the fire alarm and alerted more enemies. Have you ever gone on a recruiting spree and forgot about one behind a tent? That's what happened with this guy. To avoid getting my new people killed, I usually kept them where I deterred them. If I had available beds nearby, I would throw a person on there to speed up the recognition process. I check on some recruits that I somehow forgot to give broth and bandages. Don't want them dying on me just yet. To keep them from being scattered too far apart from each other, I would deploy them and keep them next to a hut. As you know, I don't always recruit everyone because of accidents, so I looted any useful resources to bring back to the base. I gathered more tribesmen throughout the barracks and kept them close to the one asleep to keep an eye on them. It would be kinda cool to get a notification when a tribesman is ready to be recruited. Most of my gear was broken due to taking so much damage from fighting. I gathered bronze gear from death packages and kept going on the hunt. My morale was getting pretty low, so I decided to gather all my tribesmen together, look for a bed, and begin recovery. I woke up the next morning feeling refreshed and out looking for more recruits. First lesson of recruiting a platoon of tribesmen is to make sure you bring food and water. Mainly food, as they get hungry much faster than thirst, at least through my play experience. Again, I can't have them dying on me just yet, and luckily I had an abundance of tortillas to give them. I'm not sure if it's just me or a bug, but I had a hard time telling how many tribesmen I had deployed on the left side of the screen. I figured the amount of tribesmen I currently had, it was time to bring this bunch back to base. So this is probably my 3rd or 4th time coming back to this base. I eventually recruited 50 tribesmen. My leader gave a small speech welcoming them to my clan. My clan member total was 61. Before my initial recruitment, I had roughly 10 tribesmen, so I think it's safe to say I hit my goal. I headed back to my small outpost with my remaining soldiers. They were so eager to come back to their new home. So far, my game hasn't crashed or stuttered yet. I noticed that the majority of my new army were mainly missing gloves, rings, and necklaces, so I began to start making these items. For weapons, I just went down the line of iron material, making 5 of each item. Most, if not all, NPCs who are farmers and laborers had no weapons, so I made sure they stood a fighting chance. Flint tribe has major beef with the Fang tribe because they always hog all the resources. The leader usually gives a speech before they walk into hell. He told his army that not everyone will make it back from this battle. The leader wanted to make sure his army stays robust, to always praise the sun, and to always have a burning heart when you're slaughtering your enemies. I started giving out bandages for each soldier. I deployed my army for battle by heading to the portal upstairs. I expected my game to crash, but thankfully it was doing pretty good. I can't imagine my computer handling 100 tribesmen assaulting a fortress. Having all their names pop up was kind of annoying and funny at the same time, because I would accidentally stab my own tribesmen. There were times when my guys would get stuck when trying to maneuver through the stairs. While making my way to the Fang tribe leader, I didn't notice that the other fire alarm was lit from the other entrance. Considering my army isn't fully equipped with bronze or iron gear, they were holding up pretty good. Fighting the leader, my game froze and stuttered here and there, but nothing that would crash the game. After slaughtering the Fang tribe, my army made its way out. I was going to end the video here, but then I decided to put the army to the test with the first boss. I knew that the fierce saber-toothed predator would be easy, so I wanted to fight the Berserk Saber-toothed. As soon as I summoned the predator, my guys immediately started piling on the boss. Some tribesmen weren't attacking and following me instead. There was one that looked like she was asking for mercy until I realized she was incapacitated. The Saber-tooth was taking a lot of hits to the head, which I think caused it to be dazed and immobile. It also happens to be my first time killing the Berserk Saber-tooth, but I still plan on fighting it with a lot less people. Not shown in the video, I lost 7 for my total 50. So I thought to myself, okay, I only lost 7 to a level 2 Saber-tooth. So if I summon the Predator of Doom, I'll lose maybe 14 to 20 tribesmen. Predator of Doom was a little smarter running circles around us. The boss's first attack already took down half the health of a good handful of tribesmen. I thought, okay, this is not good, why do I still have some not attacking despite having them set to active mode? I thought maybe if I distract the Saber-tooth, my guys can start doing work. Tribesmen aren't too smart, so some of them just stood there waiting to take their turn. It's also possible that there's just not enough area on the boss to attack from unless my army had bows and arrows. The bleed damage from this boss is insane. I eventually got knocked down and had to get revived from one of my tribesmen. Regardless of how often my army was stabbing this boss, the Saber-tooth's life hardly went down. It got to a point where I was the only one left and fighting him alone wasn't going to work. I had lost all 50 of my tribesmen against the Saber-toothed Predator of Doom. Hope you guys enjoyed my video, and if you're new to Soulmask, welcome. I'll leave another video for you to watch that can help you get started on your journey. Be sure to like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. See you in the next one. Peace.